What if I told you that in 2026, there are countries actively looking for foreign workers, and some of them are offering salaries, work visas, and even potential pathways to long-term residence? But here's the catch. Not every country that says it needs workers is actually easy to enter, and choosing the wrong country could cost you months of time and thousands of dollars. So in this video, I'm going to show you 10 countries where foreign workers have real opportunities in 2026, what jobs are in demand, what kind of workers they're looking for, and which countries could potentially give you the best combination of salary, job demand, and visa opportunities. And make sure you stay until the end, because number one isn't just about getting a job. It could be one of the strongest options for someone who wants to build a long-term future abroad. Let's start with number 10, South Korea. If you've ever searched for factory jobs abroad, manufacturing work, agriculture jobs, or the famous E9 visa, you have probably already heard about South Korea. But here's what many people don't know. South Korea isn't simply looking for highly educated professionals. Its employment permit system is specifically designed to bring eligible foreign workers into industries where Korean employers need workers. In 2026, the government set an E9 quota of around 80,000 non-professional foreign workers, while the seasonal E8 program has a much larger allocation. That means opportunities can exist in manufacturing, agriculture, construction, fisheries, and other approved sectors. For someone without a university degree, this can be extremely important. But there is a catch. You cannot simply buy a Korean work visa from an agent. The process is regulated, eligibility matters, and depending on your country, you may need to go through the official EPS process and Korean language testing. So if you're looking for a legal route to work abroad without necessarily having a university degree, South Korea deserves your attention. But wait until you hear about number 9, because the next country has a completely different kind of opportunity. Number 9 is Japan. Japan has a rapidly changing workforce, and foreign workers are becoming increasingly important in sectors such as manufacturing, construction, agriculture, hospitality, caregiving, and technology. And Japan has something that makes it particularly interesting: specific programs designed to bring foreign workers into industries facing shortages. If you have technical skills, work experience, or Japanese language ability, your opportunities can become much stronger. Japan is also attractive because salaries in certain professional and technical fields can be significantly higher than local opportunities in many developing countries. But here's the reality check. Japan is not simply an easy job destination. Language can be a major barrier, and different occupations have different requirements. So if you're willing to learn Japanese and develop a useful skill, Japan could be a serious option. And number 8 is especially interesting because it has been one of the world's biggest destinations for immigrants, but its rules are changing. Number 8 is Canada. Canada has traditionally been one of the biggest names in immigration, but in 2026, you need to understand something very important. Canada isn't simply saying, "Come here, everyone." Immigration is becoming more targeted towards workers Canada actually needs. Current express entry categories focus on areas such as healthcare and social services, education, STEM, trades and transport occupations, along with other targeted groups. Canada is also focusing on smaller communities where employers are facing labor shortages. So if you're a nurse, healthcare worker, engineer, STEM professional, teacher, skilled tradesperson, or qualified transport worker, Canada could be much more interesting for you than it is for someone with no in-demand skills. And here's why that matters. The right occupation can change your immigration chances dramatically. But Canada isn't number 1 on our list. In fact, the next country could be even more interesting for skilled trades. Number 7 is New Zealand. Think about this: a country with a relatively small population, a strong economy, beautiful surroundings, and a need for skilled workers. New Zealand continues to use skilled migration and work to residence pathways to attract people with skills the country needs. Trades and technical occupations can be particularly interesting, and New Zealand has been updating its skilled migration rules in 2026. That means electricians, technicians, construction workers, and other skilled professionals should pay close attention to the latest requirements. But there is one thing you need to understand before getting excited. New Zealand isn't necessarily the cheapest country to live in. Housing and everyday expenses can be high in some locations. So the question isn't simply, can I get a job? The better question is, after earning my salary and paying my expenses, how much can I actually save? And if you think New Zealand is expensive, wait until we get to number 6. Number 6 is the Netherlands. Now we're entering the part of the list where we're talking more about highly skilled international workers. The Netherlands is one of Europe's strongest economies and has demand in technology, engineering, healthcare, logistics, and specialized professional services. For qualified workers, the country has established immigration routes through recognized employers and highly skilled migrant programs. The salaries can be attractive, the infrastructure is excellent, and English is widely used in many professional environments. But there is a big difference between jobs are available and you can easily get one. Employers have requirements, immigration rules apply, and competition can be strong. So if you have a degree, technical expertise, professional experience, or a specialized skill, the Netherlands could be worth researching. But now we're moving into a country where foreign workers are in demand across an enormous number of industries. Number 5 is Australia. Australia has long attracted foreign workers, and in 2026, it remains one of the major destinations for skilled international workers. Healthcare, construction, engineering, trades, technology, and other skilled occupations can offer opportunities depending on the current occupation lists and visa pathways. One important route is Australia's Skills in Demand visa, which allows approved employers to sponsor eligible skilled workers when they cannot find appropriately skilled Australian workers for the position. And here's what makes Australia attractive. Salaries can be very strong compared with many countries. But here's the downside. Australia is expensive. Rent, transportation, food, and other costs can take a big part of your income. So don't look at a $70,000 or $80,000 salary and assume you're going to save a fortune. Always calculate your real take-home income and expenses. And if you think Australia is the best destination for foreign workers, wait, because number 4 is one of Europe's biggest economies. Number 4 is Germany. If you're a skilled worker, Germany should be on your radar in 2026. Why? Because Germany has a huge industrial economy and demand across healthcare, engineering, IT, construction, skilled trades, and manufacturing. Germany has also introduced and expanded pathways intended to make it easier for qualified international workers to enter the labor market. For certain experienced workers, there are pathways where formal recognition of a foreign qualification may not always be required in the same way as traditional routes, depending on the occupation and specific conditions. And that is a huge point for experienced workers. You may not need to follow exactly the same path as someone entering a profession from zero. But there is another factor that can make a massive difference: German language. Yes, some international companies work in English, especially in technology, but for many jobs, knowing German can dramatically increase your opportunities. And now we're leaving Europe and moving to a country where foreign workers already make up a huge part of the workforce. Number 3 is the United Arab Emirates. Dubai, Abu Dhabi. These names immediately attract people looking for international jobs, and there's a reason. The UAE has a huge foreign workforce and opportunities across construction, hospitality, logistics, aviation, healthcare, engineering, finance, technology, retail, and many other sectors. One of the biggest attractions for workers is that the UAE currently does not impose personal income tax on employment income in the way many high-tax countries do. That means a good salary can potentially translate into strong savings, but only if you control your expenses. And here's the trap.
Dubai can be extremely expensive. A high salary can disappear quickly if you're paying high rent, eating out constantly, and spending without a plan. So the UAE is not automatically a place where everyone gets rich. The people who benefit most are those with a genuine job offer, a strong salary, and controlled expenses. But number two is even more interesting if you're a highly skilled professional looking for an Asian career hub. And number two is Singapore. Singapore is small, but economically it is a giant. It is one of Asia's major financial, technology, logistics, and business centers. Foreign professionals work in technology, finance, engineering, healthcare, research, logistics, and specialized services. The country has formal work pass systems, including the employment pass for eligible foreign professionals, managers, and executives, and the salaries can be excellent. But here's the problem. Singapore is not an easy country to enter just because you want to work there. Immigration is selective, qualifications matter, salary thresholds matter, and employers need to meet the relevant requirements. And then there's the cost of living. Singapore can be expensive, especially when it comes to housing. So this is a country where having a strong skill can make a huge difference. If you are a qualified professional, Singapore could be a fantastic career destination.
But if you're looking for a country where foreign workers are needed across a wider range of industries, our number one choice becomes extremely interesting. And number one is Australia. Yes, Australia appeared earlier in the list, and that's intentional. Because when we look at the overall combination of skilled worker demand, salary potential, employer sponsorship, and multiple pathways for international workers, Australia remains one of the strongest countries to research in 2026. Australia's Skills in Demand visa allows approved employers to sponsor eligible skilled workers when they cannot find appropriately skilled Australian workers for certain positions. Australia also has other skilled migration pathways and working holiday opportunities for eligible nationalities. Healthcare workers, engineers, construction professionals, tradespeople, technology workers, and other qualified professionals can find opportunities depending on the occupation and current immigration rules. But here's the most important part. Australia is not a shortcut. You need to check whether your occupation is eligible, whether you meet the skills requirements, whether your English level is sufficient, whether you have the required experience, and whether your visa pathway actually fits your situation. If all those pieces line up, however, Australia can offer something many workers are looking for: a strong salary, professional opportunities, and potential long-term pathways. Now, let's stop for a second, because there's a very important lesson behind this entire list. The best country for you isn't necessarily the country with the highest salary. It's the country where your particular skill is in demand and where your legal pathway is realistic. A factory worker may have a better opportunity in South Korea. A skilled technician may find Japan or Germany more suitable. A healthcare professional may have strong options in Canada, Australia, or New Zealand. A technology professional might target Singapore or the Netherlands, and someone looking for international employment with potential tax advantages might consider the UAE. So before you spend money on an agent, ask yourself 5 questions. Number 1, is my occupation actually in demand? Number 2, do I meet the visa requirements? Number 3, do I have the required education, skills, or experience? Number 4, what will my real monthly expenses be? And number 5, after paying rent, food, transportation, taxes, and other costs, how much money can I actually send home or save? And please remember this: if an agent tells you, guaranteed job, guaranteed visa, just pay me a large amount of money, stop and verify everything. Check the official government immigration website. Check the employer. Check the contract, check the visa category, and never assume that a tourist visa gives you permission to work. Now, I want to know something from you. If you could get a legal job offer tomorrow in one of these countries, where would you go? South Korea? Japan? Canada? New Zealand? Netherlands? Australia? Germany? UAE? Singapore? or somewhere else? And here's the interesting part. Your answer might depend entirely on your profession. So tell me your job or skill, your age, your country, and your preferred destination in the comments. I may use your answers for a future video explaining which countries are actually the best options for different types of workers. If this video helped you, don't forget to like it, subscribe to The World Guide, and turn on notifications because in the next videos we're going deeper into work visas, salaries, jobs abroad, immigration opportunities, and the countries where foreigners can build a better future. Remember, moving abroad isn't just about finding a country, it's about finding the right country for your skills, your income, and your future. This is The World Guide, your gateway to the world. See you in the next video.